Hey, okay. I don't know how many people are there right now. I'm waiting for Pat to join. Um, can you all see me? This is so crazy. I can't believe this just happened. Can anybody see me? Okay, take two, part two. Hey, okay, good. Thank you. Oh my God, that's crazy. I didn't think that would happen if we hi, thanks you guys. I'm really sorry about that. Really hoping that Pat makes it back. We had to set up a new wait, I'm looking at what Cora just said. Sometimes if you say prior to playing the video, this is fair use. We are using this video for criticism, comment, and news reporting. Yeah, thank you. That's what we were hoping to do, but maybe we need to make it a little more clear, which is why also all of our videos today, we will be streaming with a screen share. So we will definitely do that. Thank you for coming back. Okay, I do have though, so we're gonna put on, I don't know, oh my God, I'm worried to see what Pat put because I haven't looked at all of our different timeline cleanses yet. Hey, look at us. Look at us. We're back.
Did you share a link with me for it so I can get it out?
Get it out?
We should probably put it on Twitter.
Yeah. I did. I just put we're back up, but there we go. I'm putting it. I just shared it to you, and I have it back on Twitter. Yeah.
Perfect. Let me just put that out there. Well,
yeah.
Oops. Sorry.
Yeah. Which timeline cleanse should we share while I screen share? I need to get a couple more of our things up here.
Yeah, it's perfect time for a timeline cleanse. Let's see. Where are they?
The other puppets or the Ray produced? What's that?
Oh, this is a wholesome. For me, this is the most wholesome thing I could find.
All right, let's see it.
Look at the skill, the grace, the poise. There's so much to commend. Maybe his splits lets him down in bits, but I really like the end. When you go to the window to look at the rain and the dog does this, it's a bit of a pain. When you carry too much weight, sometimes the outcome's not so great. All I'm doing is looking to see if there's any spare. Oh no, how did I get there? On a day when it's been raining, it's good to try aquaplaning. Accidents can happen at home, but watching this from afar, it seems that most accidents at home are caused by using VR. If you happen to slip while you're crossing this track, it may be a long time till you get back.
Okay, good. Thank you. That saved me a little bit. We've got a couple of clips up and we'll have to keep going. Hey, what about a perfect time when something like that happens to remind everybody, please, to make sure to like and subscribe and smash that notification bell so that when we get cut short in the middle of a broadcast and we go on immediately after, you will get the alert. That was insane. Wow. So I will do what I had planned to do before and that Cora just reminded me. Yes. Oh, look at that. The runs. So smart. Yes. Inaudible. Although right now I'm really just drinking wine. But I can take a sip of that for sure.
We'll audible here. I'm drinking from now on only beer in green cans so I can be on Zoom calls at work or something. You know?
Yeah. It looks like a nice glass of water. I like it.
I don't know why my Coke is blocked out.
Okay. So the next part was also what we thought was going to get us shut down, which is why we're doing everything in a screen share.
We may have a part Trey coming. Although, are they just kick us off Twitter, YouTube?
Yeah, we'll just be done. Then we have to like migrate over to Rumble eventually. So Okay, well, that was the Bill Maher part. He's awful. He has often been our vote for worst of the week, but we thought we'd get that out of the way over the weekend, and then we remembered that last night was the White House Correspondents' Dinner.
Yeah, and can I just say I know it's deteriorated over the years, but I still thought there'd be somebody challenging him that we could maybe pull a funny clip from.
Yeah,
that part was really hard. So we went back to the archives and found some good stuff over the years. But
right,
let me just do the intro here.
Oh, okay. Okay, so let's start with we're going to be commenting on it. It's fair use because we're going to have criticism, believe you me, of some of what they would say are the best moments of the there's not going to be a lot of lefty lols, but anyway, of White House Correspondents' Dinners over the years. Was put together, still not totally speaking truth to power in the way some of us might want, but at least there was a little bit of bite to some of these. So we're putting this on fair use. Here we go. We're watching it, commenting on it.
No one is prouder to put this birth certificate matter to rest than the Donald. And that's because he can finally get back to focusing on the issues that matter. Like, did we fake the moon landing? What really happened in Roswell? And where are Biggie and Tupac?
Larry also said that preparing me for a press conference was like reinventing the wheel. That's not true. I was around when the wheel was invented, and it was easier.
I have actually shown up here for 8 straight years. Looking back, that was probably a mistake. In just 8 years, I've given you enough material for 20 years.
I agree with the press that Dick was a little late reporting that hunting episode down in Texas. In fact, I didn't know a thing about it till I saw him on America's Most Wanted. He has a good heart. Well, he's a good man.
In a lot of ways, this dinner sums up my first 2 years in office. I'll talk for 10 minutes, take 0 questions, and cheerfully walk away.
Since the special prosecutor has all my current underwear, I will need to buy some more.
I tease Joe sometimes, but he has been at my side for 7 years. I love that man. We've gotten so close in some places in Indiana, they won't serve us pizza anymore.
I believe in the First Amendment, not just because my good friend Jimmy Madison wrote it.
Paul and I are both very funny people. But she's funny on purpose.
Republicans in Congress, too. I feel for them, I do. They've only got 7 more months to investigate me.
An American won the Boston Marathon for the first time in 30 years, which was inspiring and only fair since a Kenyan has been president for the last 6.
Okay, so none of that is speaking truth to power, but there's some cutting jokes that are at least a little clever, whatever. There was none of that. There was just a lot of poking fun at Biden being old. That was it. No talk about genocide. There was a lot of talk about First Amendment, the protected speech. They talked about 2 American journalists who are in jails, and now I'm sorry, because I didn't know the other person and I didn't find her name, but Evan Gershkovich of Wall Street Journal is in a Russian jail right now. They did not talk about Gonzalo Lira, who died. And whatever you think about him, independent journalist, whatever you think about him, he was an American citizen who was jailed in Ukraine and died in prison. Didn't talk about him.
Assange, obviously.
And no mention of Assange.
You would think there'd be a joke. So the way this used to be set up is you had several people come up and roast the president, not just one, not just the host for one. And they've changed this to where the host used to be Stephen Colbert or used to be, whoever it was. They were hosting the show. They weren't just on for a little segment.
Right.
But now the actual president, who is what's her name? Kelly O'Donnell.
Yeah.
Who is the president of the White House Correspondents Association or whatever the hell it's called. She hosted the whole thing, and then they brought on Colin Jost for his little bit. So he's not even hosting the thing now. Like they are
very nervous
shutting down dissent. And they pick Colin Jost, who is married to Scarlett Johansson or O'Hara or
Johansson. Yeah.
Something
Look at you.
like that.
Look at you with all the Hollywood inside knowledge. Johansson, one of the biggest movie stars in the world.
She's tied in with some Israeli funding stuff too.
Yeah, she does SodaStream. She's
which
a spokesperson.
Oxfam asked her to get out to stop promoting SodaStream, so she dropped her association with Oxfam and said, "I'm not apologizing for any of this."
Well, was Oxfam going to give her millions of dollars a year?
Yeah, and there's connections with Jost to the Democratic Party. They fawned over Jost's dad, who was a 9/11 responder.
Well, that was the worst part. So we can go to that. We can go to a little bit of what back when Stephen Colbert was good.
Yeah. Colbert literally roasted the crap out of the whole room, including George Bush, who was president at the time.
2006.
And took the groans. It was like, that's when they started thinking, oh shit, maybe this is not a good idea to have comedians here.
Yeah.
And that's why you end up with Colin Jost, because he's not fucking funny.
Exactly. All right. So they take away my label. So I'm going to have to just start and see if this is the right one. And if not, I'll switch it out.
Roll it.
Well, I believe in this president. Now, I know there's some polls out there saying that this man has a 32% approval rating. But guys like us, we don't pay attention to the polls. We know that polls are just a collection of statistics that reflect what people are thinking in reality. And reality has a well-known liberal bias. So, Mr. President, please pay no attention to the people who say the glass is half full. 32% means the glass. It's important to set up your jokes properly, sir. Sir, pay no attention to the people who say the glass is half empty, because 32% means it's 2/3 empty. There's still some liquid in that glass, is my point. But I wouldn't drink it. The last third is usually backwash. Okay. Look, folks, my point is that I don't believe this is a low point in this presidency. I believe it is just a lull before a comeback. I mean, it's like the movie Rocky, all right? The president in this case is Rocky Balboa, and Apollo Creed is everything else in the world. It's the 10th round. He's bloodied. His corner man, Mick, who in this case I guess would be the vice president, he's yelling, "Cut me, Dick, cut me." And every time he falls, everyone says, "Stay down, Rock, stay down." But does he stay down? No. Like Rocky, he gets back up, and in the end, he actually loses in the first movie. Okay, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. The point is, it is the heartwarming story of a man who was repeatedly punched in the face. So don't pay attention to the approval ratings that say that 68% of Americans disapprove of the job this man is doing. I ask you this, does that not also logically mean that 68% approve of the job he's not doing? Think about it. I haven't.
Okay. So, and I hear a few of you wrote that you aren't able to see it. So I'm sorry. That's terrible.
I think the audio is just low. It's just
Okay.
really low. That's what they're
Okay.
saying. And it is low.
So
We
the
just
thing
can't fix it here.
that's just so crazy is honestly, and I know we talk about this all the time, I don't see a difference between George W. Bush and Joe Biden on any level at all. Including, by the way, the polls. So we both pulled the same thing and went to put it up. But like, this is where we are right now for Biden. 43% to Trump's 49%. But here's the thing that Colbert was talking about. Was Trump's presidency a success or failure? 44% think it was a failure. 61% think Biden's is a failure. So I guess the difference between George W. and Biden is 7%. That's the only difference.
Right. And even if people end up coming out and voting for Biden, like that number, Democrats think he's a failure. So to put him out here against fascism, you're abandoning your base. You know, if you think if fascism is up really on the line, you don't put together a guy where 69% of your own voters think is a failure. And I want to say also in the, I don't know if it's in the clip, but Colin Jost, he just blatantly throws out that these guys are tied in the election. So that's why I pulled these numbers. I pulled these numbers to show they're not tied.
Yeah.
Like, no, he's losing every swing state. State, which is what really matters.
That's all that matters. When they put out these general election ones, it's so ridiculous.
Yeah, but even the tie thing is a pretty clear lie because I mean, like head to head, he's down 6%, even not factoring swing states in, like not going state by state. Just how's the country doing? This is CNN. This is last week. That's going to
be California. California and New York will definitely be voting for him, but that won't matter.
So that's 6%. And then if you throw in the third parties, it becomes 9%.
Yep.
So this whole event is to placate all these terrible people who are not doing their jobs as correspondents.
Yep.
And it's just a group hug. So like, we're not bad people. And they all marched into this thing where outside it's protested like crazy. There's signs up. Everyone that walked in there as a guest, as a just somebody at the event, had 50 to 100 people telling them they're
contributing to genocide.
Right. So they're very aware of what their how their role is perceived, at least by that audience right before they walk in there.
Yeah. Over 130 journalists have been targeted and killed, not just killed in the line of duty, targeted and killed, often at home with their whole families.
Yeah. And in the beginning, and there's no point in showing a clip of it, but they have, they give out awards to the journalists, you know, that
oh my God,
the White Horse Correspondents Association or whatever, WACA. I'm just making that up.
Yeah.
We'll just call them WACA. That they voted on, and they give all the awards to people who were the biggest propagandists for Biden, who and they give
in this
the
genocidal war.
They literally give the reason, like that you put the spin on this, that you showed Biden's view on this, and like, none of it is journalism. None of it.
Yeah.
And
none of it is journalism.
Is attacking Trump, and it's just like, okay, but so to balance out the attacking Trump, which the whole thing's a commercial attacking Trump,
right?
We're going to balance that with Biden's old, but he's a good man.
Right, exactly. That's all they talked about. That was the big dig at him, was he was a little old, can't ride a bike. But the overriding idea was he is decent and it's close. So everybody just better get out there because democracy is on the ballot. Not a single journalist mentioned, again, Julian Assange, who is rotting in jail for the crime of journalism. Nobody talked about the genocide. Nobody talked about all the journalists. It was so disgusting. Do we want to show the Michelle Wolf, or do we just want to kind of show the last bit with What do you think? Because Michelle Wolf, it ended her career, like basically.
I think we should show it because it sort of shows the evolution from Colbert to her, and then they're like, "Oh, this is too dangerous.
We're never doing this again.
Let's go with the SNL humor, which is on board with the Democrats." And I want to point out before we get to that Biden himself, you know, he had a little funny stand-up bit that was written for him, like they all are, and it was okay, but it was mocking Trump, and then he ended it with a whole minute and a half at the end, telling the press that they need to understand what's at stake here and cover things responsibly. Like,
Imagine.
you know, like ignore me and my shit.
Be responsible, get on board.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah. Okay. So this was Michelle Wolf. This was in 2018. I don't think Trump came to this, but everybody else was there.
Right. And she was a writer for the Colbert Report also.
I didn't know that. Yeah.
Yeah. She wrote for Colbert
right.
and did on-air bits a little bit too.
Okay. All right.
Going on, and we have all these 24-hour news networks, and we could be covering everything, but instead we're covering like 3 topics. Every hour it's Trump, Russia, Hillary, and a panel of 4 people that remind you why you don't go home for Thanksgiving. Milk comes from nuts now, all because of the gays. You guys are obsessed with Trump. Did you used to date him? Because you pretend like you hate him, but I think you love him. I think what no one in this room wants to admit is that Trump has helped all of you. He couldn't sell steaks or vodka or water or college or ties or Eric. But he has helped you. He's helped you sell your papers and your books and your TV. You helped create this monster, and now you're profiting off of him. And if you're gonna profit off of Trump, you should at least give him some money because he doesn't have any. Trump is so broke. He grabs pussies because he thinks there might be loose change in them.
So between that and making fun of what's her name, Sarah Huckabee Sanders, she was basically blackballed. And all of those people in there, those journalists who love to pretend that they're speaking truth to power and Trump's so mean to them, they were like deadpan. They didn't give her anything because they didn't know, like, if they laugh at anything she says, it's giving away the game. She was awesome.
And it was great. I mean, look, if you haven't seen Colbert back in the day, I know he's
the worst now, but yeah,
he's sheep herding people to Democrats, and he covers up, and he even argued with Jon Stewart, who is also doing the same on some levels, but Stewart's better than him on it now, which is really
Stewart's way better than he is now.
Really fucking telling.
That's right. Was it? Yeah, the smoky. And sorry, Dana, I keep trying to put your comment up here because you're right. Flint, 10 years later, still doesn't have clean water in our great democracy. And that started under Obama, right? Like, why wasn't a state of emergency declared? Go in and clean it up. Didn't happen. Jordan Chariton's been doing really great work. But yeah.
But the point is, comedians at this event should be highlighting that stuff, at least rib him on it so it's in the public attention,
right?
Which is what they used to do. And we got none of it. All the jokes about Biden were about him being old. Like,
yeah. And everybody was like, shaking hands. Oh, they announced all of their scholarship winners, these young journalists or journalism school. And, that's lovely, except that if this is the path, that's not helping democracy. And, it's like they got to shake his hand. And, you just remember how they were so contemptuous of Trump and Melania, which fine, I agree. Like, but take that energy to every president. Like, nobody should want to shake your hand. We are reporting on you. We are revealing your secrets because that is their job as the fourth estate.
And what they had is everyone who won an award went over, hugged the president, and took a picture with him as they received their award. Like, they literally,
just remember, this is access journalism.
We're doing propaganda about Palestine. Come on over. You just won an award. And everybody claps, and he gets a hug and a photo op with President Biden. And what we used to have is the comedian had like I think Colbert's thing was like almost 40 minutes.
Yeah.
Almost
Just
40 minutes.
railing.
Of just
Yeah.
shredding the entire room and the journalists specifically.
Yeah.
Like heavily. And now Colin Jost had like 10 minutes or
Yep.
something stupid.
It was all awful, and we'll show it in a second. But we should have. Well, whatever. The other clip, and we don't need to watch it now. But the other clip of there I go again. God,
Are you gone?
I guess I'm gone. I'll be right back. Dang it!
Dip out. I think
All
people
right.
needed a timeline
A
cleanse
break.
of sorts. See you in a bit.
All right.
You have 56 seconds. It's a short clip. Get out of here.
Oh, God.
Oh, that's too close. Come on. Get me off screen. Here's some pets to make you forget politics exist.
And the coolest cat of them all. Hip spectacles, no testicles. That's right. He lost his pair of balls. Other cats, they make baby. But then there's no yes or maybe. Who's your daddy? Not me. No, it's not me. He's Scooter the Neuter Cat.
I'm by
Look at
myself
you.
here. Where'd you go, Pat?
I'm trying to add, oh, there we go.
There you go. Oh, good grief. Very stressful, this whole StreamYard technological stuff. Okay, so that was a really lovely.
You like that? You missed
Yeah.
the good stuff. There was a lot of good stuff.
I'm sure.
There's wholesome stuff before the squirrel doing its thing. And no, Jay and whoever else was asking, I didn't record myself over that.
All right. Should we just show the worst part of
the fawning?
Okay, we should, but first, we've had a few lovely people. Thank you, Kimmy. Another super sticker. You're amazing. Thank you so much. Jeremiah, thank you for being here. So appreciate you guys coming and hanging out with us on a Sunday. And thank you for the super chat. And Cora, thank you. First copyright strike. Since you're growing, you'll probably get demonetized when I say the F word in chat. Sorry in advance. You F word away and we will deal with it. And thank you. That's incredibly generous, you guys. Thank you so, so much.
Much appreciated.
Truly. Okay. Fair use, because we're going to comment on it. No,
right? We're literally on screen stopping it and commenting. I mean, that's
grief.
Fair use allows for this. I'm sorry.
Right.
And this recording is from PBS, which is the public fucking
broadcasting system. Yeah. Oh man, I don't know, but you're making me nervous. I better look into it. I have to look into exactly what this strike was. If it was a copyright, they'll send us emails about it and then we'll deal with it. Truly hope that we don't have more.
It's usually just like, there's Bruce Springsteen in your cat video.
Right. Yeah. I mean, that's the problem, is that so many of the videos that are funny, they're kind of made funnier by the music. And that's the part that, okay. So here is Colin Jost doing his best speak truth to power, always punch up bit at the White House Correspondents' Press Dinner.
He voted for you, and the reason that he voted for you.
Sorry. And maybe this will help us not get strike. He was talking about his father, who was a first responder, a firefighter in New York, and what a good, decent man he was, but he was also a Republican, but he voted for Biden.
Gotcha. And apparently we have the MSNBC clip. So
I
thought we had the PBS.
I did too. Shoot. All right. So we're just going to keep talking over it.
Is because you're a decent man.
Listen, Genocide Joe, decent.
And they all walk in. Everyone in
My
the audience.
grandpa voted for decency, and decency is why we're all here tonight. Decency is how we're able to be here tonight.
Walking past those protesters.
Yeah, so that moment right there, like you have to put yourself in the audience. All these shitlib journalists just walked by, you know, all the protests up front, all
Thousands
the
of dollars of, you know, fancy attire.
neon signs being projected up on the buildings about the genocide, stop the genocide, all
People
the
lying on the ground,
Yeah,
showing like, you know, as if they are the slain reporters from Gaza.
right. And they had the bloody vests of all the reporters
With their
and then
names
all the
on them.
people that harangued them on their way into this thing. So this is a reminder. Hey, you guys, we're the good people.
We're decent.
We're the good people.
And Genocide Joe, the decentest. 100%.
Decency is how we're able to make jokes about each other and one of us doesn't go to prison after. We go to the Newsmax after party. And when you look at the levels of freedom throughout history and even around the world today, this is the exception. This freedom is incredibly rare, and the journalists in this room help protect that freedom, and we cannot ever take that for granted.
How is it rare? You can watch the BBC News Network, who is also shilling for this war, and they have more actual coverage of it.
Yeah.
So this is not rare. The rarity is that we are so beholden to our own fucking media. Like this is not, and this is just a pat on the back to these people that all know they're fucking can't say the wrong thing. They all know it. They all know they can't fuck up Israel correctly, or they're going to lose their jobs.
So, Mr. President, I thank you for your decency on behalf of my grandfather, and I thank all of you, almost all of you, for your decency as well.
Is that it? Is that all we can stomach?
No, I didn't do that. Did it?
I think that was it. Yeah, that was it. That was it. That was the whole deal. That's
Was
funny
it?
though, right? It's like incisive humor. Yeah. I mean, unless you had the longer one. Anyway, so gross. Nothing, no punching up, no speaking truth to power, none of the, you know, in that Stephen Colbert clip that we didn't show, the better one. Yes. He calls out the liberal media at the end of the whole thing, saying like that basically they have not even, they weren't even doing their job enough to, you know, he calls them liberals, but to talk about the lies that got us into the Iraq war, about Hurricane Katrina, he at least called them out on that. Nobody
Right. And this
said
event,
anything in this.
this event has gone from that to literally giving awards in the beginning to the people promoting propaganda the best for the Biden administration.
Yep. Yeah, that's what it was. And we all voted on it. We all voted on it. And these people were in the room when Biden said that he would help Netanyahu, but warned him not to let his rage take over. That was back in October. Yeah, it was vile. It was really disgusting. And the fact that anybody can look at that man and say that he's decent and that all of those journalists are helping prop up a genocide, spewing lie after lie continually is really just beyond.
And okay, so I want to veer off from the White House Correspondents' Dinner a little bit and take that angle, because this decency thing is getting promoted, and to promote the decency thing, this theme of him being just a good old guy, somehow he goes on Howard Stern, the guy who has like prostitutes who used to put in dildos and they do a ring toss on air, among a million other things that are offensive, which look,
Pretty good. No, I'm kidding.
I don't have a problem with, honestly, I don't have a problem with any of
Right.
that. I don't have a problem with the president going on that, but this is his move to get the kids, is to go on Howard Stern.
Right.
And if you remember back to the Bernie era, Bernie went on Joe Rogan's show, which was the most popular show in the country then, probably still is, but it was eating up mainstream media's coverage and
Yep.
ratings wise, slaughtering them. And Rogan also said that the other administrations were trying to get on his show and he wouldn't
Oh
have
yeah.
them.
Pete
wouldn't
Buttigieg
have them.
tried. Warren tried.
Right.
Yeah.
So they use this as an attack on Bernie, that he would be so disgusting as to go on the Joe Rogan's show. But meanwhile, you have him going on Howard Stern, who
He's in touch with the kids, which is hilarious. Yeah.
Has been vilified as like the most evil, crusty, gross person on
Right.
earth.
Yeah.
But here, listen to Howard Stern fawn for this guy. This was painful because I used to like Howard Stern.
Same. Yeah.
You know.
You know, the reason I'm so excited to talk to you was because I wanted to understand the tragedy in your life and how you dealt with it. And you're the kind of leader I love, because we're lucky to have you in the Oval Office and serving as the father of the country. Because if you're a good father to your family, which you are, I know you'd be a good father to the country. And I want to thank you for providing a calming influence, an organized administration post-COVID, getting that vaccine out.
Post-COVID.
I remember what the world was like at that point, getting NATO, getting us to feel comfortable, standing up to Putin, the incredible large growth in the jobs, unemployment rate down. I'll give you your greatest hits. The lowest uninsured rate in history. 4 out of 5 Americans are covered for less than $10 a month. Knocking off a few ISIS
That's a
leaders,
lie.
cutting the emissions in half. I mean, you've always been an environmentalist.
Cutting emissions in half. Like, it's just one
Lie
unchecked
after another.
fact
Yeah.
after another, and Biden just sitting there nodding asleep like
Yeah.
this is your promotion. This is how you're going to get the young kids. This is your move to make people not protest the genocide.
Yeah. Yeah. Howard Stern. Also, I mean, it is just kind of hilarious. Like, first of all, pretty much everything he said there was either a lie or I disagree entirely with Stern's take on it. But he was popular. I mean, is he still I guess I'm serious. I don't even know. But like, he sits there like a deer in headlights because it had to be so scripted. He's done almost no interviews.
Yeah, no, I mean, there's no way that look, Stern, love him or hate him, is great at interviews. Right. It's because he pries and asks questions to get stuff out of the other person.
Yeah.
And it just forces them, but he makes them uncomfortable, but he also, it's such a, because of all the sex stuff, partially.
Yeah.
It lets people's guard down. Like, it's so disarming of like, we just talk about everything and we don't care.
Yeah.
So people just spill their guts on Stern's show.
Yeah.
And that's what used to be the fun of him. But here he is just going through talking points for the president while he sits there. Because he can't make his own case.
Yeah. And I mean, oh, there's my dog going crazy. Yeah. I mean, it's just really pathetic, embarrassing, and comedians are supposed to punch up and speak truth to power and point out the things that we all see and feel. And instead you have them carrying water for one of the most vile administrations of my lifetime, and all the journalists along with them. It's really a sad state. And there is no democracy when everybody in the fourth estate is carrying water for the most powerful people in the world. Yeah.
61% think he's a failure. And so they're
That's my
not
new law,
running
lawn sign.
on the record anymore. They're running on, he's a decent guy. Trump's not a decent guy. So if that makes a decision, he's a decent guy. Fascism is coming. But meanwhile, the whole country is seeing all these college kids getting locked up. So fascism is coming. And let's expand the powers of all these people locking up the kids, and let's put fucking
we'll hand them on to
city in every
fascist
fucking
Trump. Yeah.
big county in America.
Expand their surveillance state, militarize the police, both of which happened under Biden and Obama. Then it's expanded more under Biden, and get those cops on campus. Yeah.
And if you were truly worried about Trump abusing all these powers, you would be putting in legislation to curtail the president's powers in these areas, to curtail the government's powers, to make sure that there are safeguards against him abusing these powers. Instead, they're just like, hey, let's give this guy the more power. Let's just
Yeah, I mean,
let's do that.
because they're all, I mean, I know we all know this, but it just becomes more and more clear every day. They're just all working on the same team. And, I was, oh gosh, she's an I think UN worker. We'll probably talk about it on Wednesday. Craig, I'm going to get the name wrong. Murray. Anyway, was talking about the fact that we cut funding for UNRWA and announced it with all these other countries on the same day, on the day that the ICJ report came out that there was plausible genocide. And he's like, that doesn't happen in one day. That was being planned and coordinated for weeks. Like, he used to work in the, State Department diplomats. Right. And like, nothing happens that's not sanctioned by the US. So Biden clearly wants this genocide. That is the plan. It is the complete removal of Palestinians. So Israel will be in control of all of that land. We will have our, what they call the police doing the beat in the Middle East, that special relationship, and we will have access to offshore oil off the coast of Gaza. It is so disgusting. And anybody Craig Murray, thank you, Jay.
But I think another layer of it is like, just like with COVID, he called COVID over, so COVID has to be over.
Yeah.
The Middle East, Palestine, we lean in so hard on his position. It can't be a genocide. If it's genocide, it's over. It's like, it's the same thing. It's just, none of it has to do with making anyone safer or helping Palestine or, whatever. It's just all bullshit, and they don't represent us anymore. They don't represent what the public wants.
They don't even try to pretend.
Like the contrast of the people outside and all these people giving themselves awards on the inside.
Yeah. It's, I mean, it has to be the last stages of an empire in decline, but it's just pretty stunning to be living through it and see how little effect we have. It's pretty crazy. All right. It's getting late on a Sunday, and I know we always say that this is going to be our shorter show. What's our
I think we should one good thing it call tonight.
One good thing it, yeah. No questions.
But, well, do you want to do questions? I just wanted to show like this. This is our president right here. This is who's going to stop fascism.
Imagine what we can do next. 4 more years. Pause. 4 more years. 4 more years. 4 more years.
4 more years. In parentheses. Pause.
I want that on a t-shirt right there.
Actually, that's some punch up merch we should have.
We should punch some.
Pause. Please clap.
Pause.
Yeah. All right. I am so sorry for our technical issues today. But thank you all for returning to our stream. That was crazy. Jeez Louise. Is that it, Pat?
Yeah, I think we can end it, right? I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know. Does anyone have any questions? We're trying to open up questions of if we left something to talk about off the board or just some silliness. But I'm good also, just saying adios.
Yeah. 4 more years in prison. I like that. Definitely. And yeah, I mean, seriously, Bill Maher is exactly Facebook. That is exactly what's happening. And Mary, isn't that terrifying? All right. Okay. What do you think?
Yeah, let's one good thing it.
Let's one good thing it. You guys are all awesome. Happy weekend. Find some joy out there. Thank you for hanging out with us. And we'll see you Wednesday, right?
Absolutely. And stay in the protest. Wear your masks out there, please. And this is some clips from the people outside of the White House Correspondents' Dinner. Cheers.
Cheers. Keep punching up. Oh my God, that was crazy. Jesus Christ. I'm so curious how that looks. It's good that we could still do the chat, huh?
Yeah, that was interesting. So we could send people over. We should have posted a link. I didn't think about that in the chat, but I think people figured it out. What do you